Hi everyone, my name is Emily and I'm a youth services librarian at the Rock Island Public Library, and I'm pre-recording this book talk on Monday because I was at C2E2 this past weekend and I didn't realize that I had a training in Peoria tomorrow. So this is going to be kind of a briefer book talk than usual. I just wanted to highlight a couple of titles related to National Poetry Month. And so the first is Thinking About Thinking by Grant Snider, and I'm going to edit in a clip of that book right now because it is so new I do not have a physical copy yet, but it is available through our Hoopla app. And I'm pretty sure I book talked his book Poetry Comics last year, so this is kind of in a similar vein, so take a look. So here's a quick look at Thinking About Thinking by Grant Snider. As you can see, the art is a lot of fun, and though these comics aren't technically poetry, I mean, they often have that sort of form to them. And there's different sections. So each section starts with a page like this, and there's sections about thinking and about feelings and just the different things that brains do. Then we may not always understand why our brains do the things they do, but it's interesting to experience reality and to think about thinking, as the title suggests. Wow, what a great video clip that was. Next, we have a book by Franny Choi, and this is The World Keeps Ending and the World Goes On. And this is a book, I mean, I love the title, obviously. And I book talked a previous title of hers, which was called Soft Science. But this one, right on the inside flap, you can see there's a quote from Eve L. Ewing, and she writes, "It was Franny Choi who first taught me the truism that every utopia requires an attendant dystopia." And here she catalogs them both with aplomb. Anyone who's lived through the daily absurdity of disaster, which is to say all of us, can find a home here. And so in the description of this book, it is just described with the words, "Many have called our time dystopian, but the world keeps ending and the world goes on," reminds us that apocalypse has already come in myriad ways for marginalized peoples. With lyric and tonal dexterity, these poems spin backward and forward in time, from Korean comfort women during World War II to the precipice of climate crisis to children wandering a museum in the future. They explore narrative distances and queer linearity, investigating on microscopic scales before soaring towards the universal. Wrestling with the griefs and distances of this apocalyptic world, Choi also imagines what togetherness between Black and Asian and other marginalized communities, between living organisms, between children of calamity and conquest, could look like. And so this is about charting new paths toward hope. And with that in mind, I'm going to read just a couple poems from this. This one near the end of the book is called Protest Poem. And it goes, "The air's so thick with fury, it shakes the windows. Nothing cuts through walls like rage and its promises. No peace is a drill. Joy you have to charge to make work. The cheer that follows each verse, an ekphrastic for the as-yet unbuilt museum of what we had to survive to make paradise from its ruins. It's okay if you don't believe me. No one could have told me I was possible with a sentence that would have made it true. So, this isn't a sentence. It's a sound. It's a blade spinning. It's a wave that stutters at the air until the plate glass cracks." Another poem in here I quite enjoy. "Celebrate good times. The regime is having a birthday party, so we turn off the lights and pretend we're sick. All night, happy Americans honk their horns. We did it, they scream into our window. In the morning, we is all over the floor. We sweep we into a paper bag and label it emergency. The good news is that things will go back to the way they were, which is also the bad news. Meanwhile, I cut an onion, and it's onions all the way down, and that's a fine reason to cry at the sink on a Monday after the empire congratulates itself on persisting again. No, thank you, I'm stuffed. I couldn't possibly have more hope. I haven't finished mourning the last tyrant yet. I haven't said enough goodbyes to, oh, what was her name? And hers. How many we's did they cut out of me? And whose country was I standing on? The last time we survived." And this last poem is called "With Mouths and Mushrooms, the Earth Will Accept Our Apology." And it's prefaced with a quote, "When Hiroshima was destroyed by an atomic bomb in 1945, it is said, the first living thing to emerge from the blasted landscape was a matsutake mushroom. And a Lowen Hop Sing, the mushroom at the end of the world. Made of shock doctrine, made of root chatter, made of playgrounds blackened with corpses, made of the anti-modern, of hell wreck, made of symbiotic destruction, of parasite and paracapitalism, made of slave trade, of wretched, made of reek and reason, made of ex-flesh, of cells stampeding through the lungs of miners, made of morals, of mortals, of everything went with perfection, made of infants in horse stalls or strapped in redden rags, made of sour rice, of phlegm, of warp and spore, made of forest floor disenfranchised to dust, of sun-laden and empty space, made of empty space, made of timber price, of sugar cane, of nematode and elite sleaze, of seamstresses diving to concrete, made of trash-bellied caribou, of suicide pact, of hands deep in the throat of a comfort girl, made of entrails, of grommet, of every chipper, we can do it, made of sacred land, of funeral scream, of holy water and flayed graves, made of stolen names, of commerce, of conquistador, of near-death visions on the factory floor, made of the unforgivable future and the unforgivable past, I bloom, bloodless, and ready to feed. Okay, here's one more last poem for real. It's called Look. My mother, very Catholic, loves that song. Imagine there's no heaven. Can you picture it? My mother joining the chorus of her 3 churchless children to croon, no heaven, no hell, nothing before or after. Above us only the universe and its borderless yawn. Only the trees who died for my handwriting. History's pollen, fields and field hands I can't stop robbing with money. Today I woke up on still stolen land, then scrolled through the latest debris of people attempting godliness in 100 wrong ways. The room was filled today with light, filled, you could say, with nothing. No hope, no glory, no such peach as an ethical peach. The minute I started wanting paradise, it leapt from my belief. I'm not good enough to survive not being good. I'm like you, still drooling after a perfect world, even as the stars warble off key and the oceans rattle with plastics. Imagine, I can't stop saying, imagine, I beg, when I should have said, look, paradise is both a particle and a wave. You don't have to believe in something for it to startle you awake. So, not sure I showed this cover before, but this is the book. I think I did. So, if you're interested, you can check out a physical copy from the library, though I have this one right now. But also it's available through our Hoopla app. So as long as we've not hit our daily borrowing limit, you can check it out that way. And thank you for watching. I will see you again next week.